Hey, welcome to Super Social Club. I'm Jeremy, and tonight I have a few of the new releases from the Hiram Walker Distillery. I'll let you know if these whiskeys are worth their price when I nose them, taste them, and give them a mark. Alright, starting off with the new Lot 40 Dark Oak. This one bottled at 48% ABV. It was finished in a recharred number 4 oak barrel. See how it is on the nose. So, as you'd expect with like a rechar new oak barrel, lots of caramels, lots of sugary kind of notes going on with it. Really nice like char, smoky, burnt wood kind of note too. A little bit of spice, like some cinnamon, like cardamom kind of thing going on here. But yeah, really nice, well-rounded kind of nose. Let's go palate. It's good sweet flavors, again, that caramel, vanilla, and even like kind of like a little bubblegum kind of sweetness to it as well. It's really nice. And then lots of spice. This thing has lots of spice, but not so much rye spice. I'm picking up, other kind of spiciness, like black pepper comes to mind. Again, that cinnamon cardamom kind of combo. Long finish. Super long finish on this. The spice just keeps going and going and going. Not so much on the rye spice, but again, there's other spices coming through. Really well balanced nose, really rounded. I'm kind of thinking, is it too rounded? Is it too just kind of blended out, where something is not like as sharp or maybe as much character as you might want? I think the 48% really helps the finish. The finish is nice. Really good on this one. Slightly drying on the oak, I would say. Definitely an interesting whiskey. I had the pleasure of trying this in a Toronto Whiskey Society tasting with Don Livermore. We each got sent some samples and just did it over Zoom. This, a little bit different than how I remember it. I think it's kind of confusing on the palate because you're looking for that rye spice and you're kind of getting some different spicy aspects to this. But for me, I'm scoring it 83 out of 100. Let's talk value. $60 Canadian for this bottle. Looking at $20 more than the standard release. I'm going to take off a point for value, bring it down to 82 out of 100. Let's real quickly compare this to the original Lot 40. Alright, the original Lot 40, 43% ABV on the nose. So yeah, the rye spice definitely comes through on this one. You can notice the rye, the typical Canadian rye profile a lot more on the palate. Definitely thinner. Definitely thinner, and the finish is less. So I think those are maybe like my main takeaways. Spiciness on this, not so much rye, but a lot of different other spices. Actually, you know what? The sweetness is about the same. Honestly, the sweetness is about the same. This one is nice and sweet as well. But the finish, definitely the dark oak has the longer finish. Kind of attribute that to maybe the higher ABV. Nothing wrong with this. This is a great pour. This is the Canadian whiskey I recommend to a lot of people who want to get a good, solid rye whiskey. The regular Lot 40. $40 Canadian. I would score this one 83. I would score the exact same, and I'd probably even tick this up a half mark for value at $40 compared to the $60 for the Lot 40. I think that if you're gonna buy this, if you're a Lot 40 fan, yeah, definitely check it out. But for me, honestly, I don't think it's an improvement over this one. Just different in profile, just a little bit different aspects to it. Alright, moving on to the J.P. Wiser's Red Letter. Now this one is a reintroduction to the brand. They used to release Red Letter. It was always a fan favorite among Canadian whiskey drinkers for sure. This one is 45% ABV. I believe it's finished in a new oak barrel as well. 15 years old on the nose. Just amazing nose on this. You get like this kind of like leathery note, and again like that kind of barrel kind of char as well. Lots of rich vanillas and caramels for sure. Get that classic Canadian style corn note. Really nice. Like Christmas style spices going on with this. Love this nose. Really, really good. Let's go palate. The oak influence in this I really like. Again, a little bit of that char, a little bit of that smoky kind of oak, burnt wood kind of aspect to it. Clove, cinnamon is the spices I'm getting here. little bit like orange kind of citrus note too that kind of just complements it really, really well. On the finish, clean, creamy, like cream corn kind of note to it. And then it's like kind of like a fresh charcoal, very clean kind of charcoal note. Really good. This is a very excellent whiskey. Liking this one quite a bit. Score-wise for me on this, I'm going 87 out of 100. Now for value, this was $100 Canadian. The original Wiser's 15-year-old, I think it's bought at 40%, comes in at $50. So you're looking at double the price. I just think that the price is just a little bit too much for this, even though I do enjoy it quite a bit. I think for $100 Canadian, I felt like I was kind of slightly overpaid for this. Taking off one mark, let's bring it down to 86 out of 100, but great dram for sure. Let's move on to the Wiser's 22 Cask Strength. Oh, and if you have Instagram, check me out on Instagram. Sometimes I just post something that I'm drinking. Sometimes I do little quick reviews like I did for the Red Letter, kind of just like first impression review. I'll just post it there. So if you want a little more content, check out Instagram. All right, so this one was finished in a port seasoned Spanish oak barrel, 59.7% ABV. Let's see what this is on the nose. Really unique nose. Now I get a really interesting kind of smokiness. It's kind of like a cap gun. You know, like cap guns when you're a kid, little like orange tipped barrel ones. It smells like that. Just a little hint of it. Really interesting note for sure. Then a lot of the aspects that you expect, like dark berries, the spiciness comes through. Plum, strawberries, kind of get like grapevine, like just like how a grapevine smells without the grapes on it. Really interesting nose, really delicious stuff. And like a little like dry oak on there as well, but it fits really well. Let's go palate. Rhubarb and strawberry jam note that comes out of this is really delicious. Chocolate, sweet raisins, kind of like a grape kind of note as well. I think that the balance, the complexity, really, really nice on this. If you pay attention to the channel, you'll know that I named this my Canadian Whiskey of the Year this year. Really enjoyed it quite a lot. Score rise for me on this one, I'm going 88.5 out of 100. Now for value, this one is $150. Very expensive, but I think for what you're getting, 22-year-old cask strength whiskey, they call this a cask strength blend, which I think is like kind of the most accurate way to name something cask strength, because it's not a single barrel, it's a blend of multiple barrels coming together, and it kind of makes sense. I think they're the first ones to actually put that on the label, cask strength blend. But I think this price is justified. I think 150 Canadian dollars, when you factor in the quality, when you factor in the enjoyment of this, and what you're getting at 22 years old in cask strength, I think it's a justified score. So I'm going to leave value at 0, 88.5 out of 100. Let's see how all these kind of compare head to head, and if you're looking just to purchase one, which one should you get? So there are my scores with the value added. I think that for the price, if you are a first-time Lot 40 drinker and you haven't had Lot 40 before, just pick up the regular 43% ABV. If you like it quite a bit, maybe you can move on to this one. I think that if you've been a Lot 40 drinker for a long time and you really like the profile, definitely pick this up and try it out. I just think that it's a different profile. It's something that's not going to be, I don't think, that much better, in my opinion, enjoyment-wise, from the regular Lot 40. Just kind of different in character. For the Red Letter, if you're a fan of the Red Letter franchise, you know, you've had the previous bottlings of it, definitely pick this up. You're going to enjoy it for sure. Even though it is $100, I really wish that the price point was a little bit cheaper for that. A little bit too expensive in my opinion, but a very, very nice whiskey. I think if you like Canadian whiskey, you'll like this one because it is that like stereotypical Canadian cream corn kind of style that a lot of people really enjoy. So the Red Letter, expensive, yes, but really good quality. And of course the JP Wiser's 22. This one I really, really like. I really like the complexity of it, the uniqueness of this. I think that the finish on it is really good. I'm a sucker for port casks. I love port cask maturation, so definitely gravitate towards this one. Very expensive at $150, no doubt. If you are a Wiser's fan, of course, it's probably something on your radar. If you haven't tried much from the Corby brands, I would just go with the Red Letter. I think the Red Letter is something kind of in between price of both of these, but it's definitely higher quality than the regular Lot 40. You're getting a very smooth kind of aspect to it. The spice notes are very, very rounded. There's very kind of smooth spiciness to the red letter, which is really good. I think a lot of people will enjoy sipping this one for sure. Even though it is $100, I think that for someone who is just looking maybe to get into Canadian whiskey, you're not going to be disappointed with this one for sure. And of course, the regular Lot 40, the 43% ABV, I recommend that to a lot of people. For $40 Canadian, you can't go wrong. It's a good sipper. It's great in cocktails as well. So there you have it. Let me know what you think. Have you picked up any of these? They were released kind of special in certain Canadian markets, but in Ontario, they had an online exclusive order. That's why you see this one signed by Dr. Don Livermore. He signed the first 1,000 or so, I believe, and they sold out super quick. I think there was a limit, 2 per person. They sold out really, really fast. I think all these are sold out on their website currently, and I believe February 2021 is when these will hit the shelves in Ontario. So if you're waiting, that's when you can expect it. Of course, LCBO, you know, who knows really, but February is the date which I've heard they will be out. So leave me a comment down below if you had these, or if you're anticipating which one might you be looking to get. I appreciate you watching. Thanks as always. If you haven't checked out my Whiskey of the Year video, make sure to do that, and I will see you next time. Cheers.